My name is Mary Schlegelmilch, and I am with Cisco Systems as an education advocate. I came from a school district in which I was helping with the blended, hybrid, and remote learning environments. And now at Cisco, my job is to be the advocate for our school districts as basically, you tell us what you need, and Cisco then can, we build basically the technologies and the things that you need, because we're trying to make sure that we meet the customer's needs. So with that, I would like to share with you today some thoughts on what is Cisco's thinking about reimagining education and what that looks like. And I'm just going to do this. There we go. And when we think about reimagining education, we're really moving from this industrial idea of rows and moving more into that post-pandemic of learning spaces and rethinking how we want to have smaller learning groups and build spaces for students that are both present on campus as well as students that are remote. And when we think through this, context is truly key in helping districts with these post-pandemic requirements. We want to make sure that the 360-degree visibility, the data granularity, and then data that's in historical, real-time, but also future. The four main areas of the users, the network, the devices, and the applications, when we bring that context all together into the network layer, it can really give us the data that we need to be more efficient, to help our teachers and help our administration adjust to the needs of the community in our districts and our students. One way that we do this is through DNA spaces. And I like this picture because it's showing an entryway. And I think that this is really important because, DNA spaces is that single pane of glass that will allow your team, the IT team, to really see what all of the applications that the district uses is doing in one pane of glass or one dashboard. So DNA Spaces allows for that digital signage to be pushed out to many of the signs, whether it's in a teaching space or in a public space of the lobby or whatever. And that can give us that sense of security of what's the air quality like, what is the temperature of the air inside and out. I mean, these are all important pieces that help our communities as they look at this environment that we're trying to create that's really user-friendly for the students as well as for the teachers and our parents as well. The Cisco access points and DNA spaces working together can allow for the density monitoring, knowing where there's large gatherings of students and devices and teachers in the various spaces, but also where they are not. If an area is not occupied, there's no sense of sending the cleaning staff to that space. So again, we're helping you be more efficient and save in this area. When we think about a hybrid campus, or we think about our campuses today, many of us use that term hybrid. And it's interesting because sometimes it's about being completely on site, but that ability to move remote if we need to. And I like using the word an elastic campus, that ability to have applications and build the network to where we have the elasticity to go either on-site or remote as we need to. But also we have that ability to where maybe we want to have some of our students be remote. Maybe we want some students to have that high flex environment. Again, as we look at the needs of our community, the needs of the students and the faculty, these are all things that are utmost important as we start thinking about the elasticity of our campus. When we think about this type of environment, we're looking for environments that allow for flexible and secure platforms. We're looking for that interactive and engaging piece, as well as a consistent experience. So no matter whether we are totally in a face-to-face learning environment or totally remote, or a blend of each, or maybe we have our staff in a remote environment, but our faculty are on campus with our students. All of these environments need that consistent experience And that's what happens when you start thinking about applications that can be used in all areas. Models of learning, as we are rethinking what do we need on our campus, they can be synchronous or asynchronous. And I always say, as we look at a model of learning, we look at this as a continuum. And we also look at items such as the calendar, the roster, space and motion, and of course, those online tools as being part of that continuum within that model of learning. The interesting piece that we really did some research on with the Learning Console is what is the tech stack that is needed for all of the models of learning? And what we found is the tech stack is the same. It's just the percentage of what you may use based on your location, based on the calendar, based on the roster, which students are in the classes or not. These are important pieces that I think that was really important. One that you're going to be hearing more and more about is the Hybrid Logistics Project, which we are so happy to be one of the sponsors of. And this is as we start thinking about the data that is generated by the lessons students are completing and their abilities within those lessons, but also how we can move students into different learning environments based on their accomplishments or based on reteaching capabilities that they may need. Also, we're starting to rethink our teaching staff. And are they on location where they can do face-to-face instruction, or are we going to start being able to leverage remote staff and bring highly qualified faculty into students in smaller learning environments, but also in large classroom environments? I mean, as we really think beyond this box of reimagine and able to reimagine into this education space, these are all things that will be coming into motion. When you use the built-in intelligence of the devices on your network, especially within the collaboration area, this is where we're going to be looking for something like the Webex Assistant, where it's going to be hands-free and AI. We can speak within that space and we can start meetings automatically because it's looking at the calendar within our device and what meeting should be launched next. And or it's going to be allowing for that translation transcription capability. Also, facial recognition, if that's something that you want to, as an option, turn on, but you can also just turn on to have it count the number of people within that space. And it can then relate back into the building automation system so that it can say, you know what, this classroom is rated for 25 students and there are full capacity, we're at 25. So let's have that airflow move a little bit more within this space. So again, facial recognition can be used for many different things. And then, of course, high fidelity audio and video. Well, I always say it is so important, and I'm coming to you today via an asynchronous application in which we wanted to make sure you had great quality video and audio. But I always say that this is truly important even in a synchronous application. And the most important is we can allow for some distortion of the video as long as we have crystal clear audio. Once the audio starts breaking down, then that's something we want to be thinking about. So again, using that built-in intelligence to be able to give us insights is truly important. Device integration. As we look at endpoints that we may be using in our classrooms and conference rooms, it's really important to pick an endpoint that is going to be software agnostic, meaning standards-based. Will allow that MS Teams, Google, Zoom, any of those softwares can be used with the Cisco hardware. And I think that's an important piece because that really allows us to start thinking how we can share with other districts, making sure that we're bringing in faculty or administration for meetings. I mean, that is an important piece of choosing a hardware video platform. And so when I look at this one, and this one's a lot, but I'm going to just let you kind of look at it here a little bit. It's called The Day in the Life of a Video Device Within a Classroom. And so I kind of pulled out the day in which we can be, having that digital signage push to those video devices and come on our digital screens. But also as we start thinking about maybe teams that are going to be meeting prior to school starting via Google Hangouts, but then maybe we want to have a history class via Zoom because the neighboring district is using Zoom. But then also we want to leverage these devices across our district to bring our faculty together during a lunch, faculty lunch and learn. Again, we're thinking about all different ways in which we have interoperability, integrations, and we can support the life cycle that we need within our classrooms. Cisco Webex Education Connector is one additional piece that we offer, and this is the ability to embed Webex within the learning management system. And the ones that we support are listed here. And again, this allows that, through single sign-on, when a teacher and or student log into the learning management system through the Learning Tools Interoperability, or LTI, that Webex is embedded inside that course shell. And that comes free of charge as well with the Webex Education Suite. I've gone through quite a bit. I think my time's just about up, but I do want to thank the Learning Council for inviting us to speak with you today. And I want to close this with this one thought, because this is really important. This is a quote that I have used for many years. And really, when you think about technology, the technology should do these three things: leverage our time, restructure the learning activities, and provide opportunities for rigorous instruction. When we keep those in mind, we're choosing the technology that our districts need. So with that, I thank you for your time today. And I hope that we will be able to meet someday in person. This is valuable time that you're spending with the Learning Council today. And again, have a great day.